The Delhi High Court has refused to issue a stay on finalisation of the Fortis-IHH deal. The details are on your screen. Ashmit is joining in to take us through exactly what the court's stand is on the matter. Ashmit.
Well, Daiji, which has an arbitral award of about 3,500 crore rupees against the Singh brothers, moved the apex court today. Their primary grievance was, their primary prayer was that they're looking for a stay on this transaction, the 4,000 crore transaction between Fortis and IHH. Now, Fortis came out all guns blazing. Fortis clarified before the apex court that the Singh brothers, as of today, have a sub 1% shareholding, that they are an independent corporate entity, that there are other shareholders as well, and that they cannot be held liable for the past actions of former promoters. Having said that, what the Delhi High Court has done is that the Delhi High Court has not granted a stay, but what it has done is that it has issued a notice to Fortis Healthcare. It has impeded Fortis Healthcare. It has directed Fortis to come back and file a reply and has granted an early hearing. The next date of hearing is August 1st. But the big takeaway is an observation that fell from the court. It's not a part of the order. It's an observation that was made by the judge here. He clarified, again, by way of an observation does not become binding. But he clarified before an open court that should the waters be muddied, the court will not refrain from reversing the situation. So that is a word of warning that has been issued by the Delhi High Court to Fortis Healthcare. But speaking of Fortis Healthcare, another important aspect to keep in mind is trademarks, the branding of Fortis Healthcare. That currently rests with RHC Healthcare Management Company and Management Services, I beg your pardon, where the Singh brothers enjoy a majority stake. Now, given that Singh brothers enjoy a majority stake, the Delhi High Court has restricted them from selling or creating any third-party rights as far as the trademark is concerned. So that's another aspect. And thirdly and lastly, all their assets, all their bank accounts, and all their valuables that they own, the Singh brothers, across the world will now have to be submitted, a list of it in a sealed cover before the Delhi High Court. Back to you.
That's one story. That's good news for Fortis. The deal can go on, at least for now, no stay. The other story that our sister network has been tracking, Ashmit, if you could get some details on that as well for us. It seems that the government could be moving a legislation to increase the retirement age of judges.
Well, what our network is essentially picking up is that the government is actively mooting the idea that perhaps increasing the retirement age of High Court and Supreme Court judges could be the answer to the long list of pending cases as well as vacancies across various courts. Now, this falls a few months after, in fact, March of 2018 is when we had a parliamentary panel that was headed by BJP leader Bhupendra Yadav. That panel, the report that had come out in March, had advocated for increasing retirement age of High Court judges from 62 to 65 and Supreme Court judges from 65 to 67. The reason, of course, was to tackle the long list of pending cases as well as vacancies. Now, what the network is picking up is that the government is actively mooting the idea of floating a bill in the monsoon session itself and to get this through. But keep in mind that this would require a constitutional amendment, which, mind you, would require a special majority of both the houses of parliament, a special majority implying two-thirds majority in both the Lok Sabha as well as the Rajya Sabha. So it will be a tedious task. We'll have to wait and see whether or not the government bites the bullet. But as far as implications are concerned, other than the macro picture about pending cases, one aspect that will need to be kept in mind.
Sure, Ashmit. I guess good luck to the government with respect to getting that majority from both the houses. Ashmit, thanks for that. In fact, on that note, let's actually get to the next story that my colleague Parikshit is tracking for us. The 18-day monsoon session kicked off today, and it promises to be a stormy one because there's a no-confidence motion being moved against the government. Parikshit, thanks for joining in. So what are the details and what should we expect over the next couple of days?
Well, the Speaker has agreed to take up the motion of no confidence. It will be taken up for discussion on Friday. There would be voting on the same day as well. The BJP has about 310 members in support of it. That includes all the NDA partners. This is what the BJP is claiming, that there would be no problem as far as this vote of no confidence is concerned, and it will be defeated on the floor of the House. Sonia Gandhi today was highly combative when she was asked whether they really have the numbers. She said, we definitely do have the numbers. So they would be relying on 60-plus MPs of UPA, which includes the Congress, and also the TDP, which has moved this no-confidence motion. This is a pressure tactic. The Congress and the UPA may not succeed at the end of the day, but they would only use to show this, that this is the mood in the parliament, this is the mood in the country, that people want to vote out this government.